So Samir, thank you for joining us here at RCR Live to discuss how operators are approaching their own sustainability investments and their net zero strategies. You just came off of a really interesting panel discussion. Maybe share with us some of the highlights.
So, Sean, first of all, thank you for having us. As AWS, we're thrilled to be here. It's a very relevant conversation in every discussion I have had with a telco operator worldwide. Energy savings, the cost of energy is becoming a prohibitor for growth. But more importantly, just saving energy, going net zero is the right thing for the planet. And at Amazon as a whole, we were one of the first, I think we were actually the first signatory on the climate pledge that posits a net zero future by 2040. And today, 85% of Amazon Web Services, AWS's, data centers are run on renewable energy. And by 2025, we will be 100% renewable energy driven. So that's the supply side. Now, on the demand side, we're innovating on behalf of our customers. So if you look at a few threads, one is you've got a lot of older generation networks that really do not need to operate all the time everywhere. So we're starting to see our telcos partner with us to move those to an on-demand basis into the public cloud. Disaster recovery networks that today run all the time can also follow that same format, and we've done that with LG U+ in Korea to provide disaster recovery in Korea just in case the primary network goes out. Then we're investing in silicon innovation with what we call our Graviton series of chips, which are ARM-based, that deliver a 40% price to performance improvement. And more importantly, what we've seen with Docomo, for example, in Japan, is when they moved to the Graviton chip, they were able to reduce the power consumption of the core by 70%. These are real significant numbers. And then finally, just our data centers, especially in EMEA, in Europe, are between 4 and 5 times more efficient than legacy data centers, and they are renewable powered. So I would highly encourage everyone to look at just, if you can run an application in the public cloud, hopefully on AWS, that you look at ways to do that, because it is the fastest path to reducing your energy consumption.
Okay, so if I play that back to you a little bit, one part of it is going to be partnering with hyperscalers like AWS, taking advantage of the scale and the technological innovation you brought to bear. Part of it's going to be energy smart operations within the operator organization, and then elsewhere in their network, there's going to be some infrastructure modernization going on to newer radios. Where do you get started?
So the easiest way to get started is to really look at your existing data centers and seriously do a comparison between what it means to run in a public cloud, all of those existing applications, versus what it's currently costing you, both in terms of the energy budget, the carbon budget, as well as real fiscal budget. And let's have that discussion. And I think most people would be pleasantly surprised by how much we can save.
So in this kind of larger shift from shareholder to stakeholder capitalism, we've seen just a really renewed emphasis on sustainability as part of any business's just larger plans. As it relates to operators, as they account for Scope 1, Scope 2, Scope 3 emissions, talk to me a little bit about the accounting that goes along with moving network or administrative workloads out of your own cloud and into a public cloud.
Well, first of all, you basically take that off of your books. We are the ones who handle the accounting in terms of how AWS's infrastructure contributes to the reduction of Scope 1, 2, and 3 emissions. Right. So let's take the extreme example of exiting all data centers. You essentially take your data center budget, carbon budget, to zero.
So if you look about, 3 to 5 years in the future, based on the engagements you have today with operators, what you expect to come online in the next few years, what do you think is a real, attainable sort of step towards carbon zero?
It's going to vary by geography, by the telco, the carrier themselves. But I think we should aim not 3 or 5 years out. Let's aim for next year and see if we can do 10% together, right? And that just becomes a self-perpetuating virtuous cycle, right? At that point, when you see the savings, and then we'll go from there. We don't prognosticate. We can execute now on delivering that, and we just want to focus on that.
And then so maybe to zoom out a little from just sustainability, as operators consider all of their cloud options in this kind of longer arc towards building cloud native networks, what do you see as AWS's differentiated value proposition as they go through that selection process?
So we're on a mission to make AWS the best place to run networks, whether wired or wireless. And what that basically means, we need to have the highest number, ideally all of the independent software vendor partners running on AWS natively, so that you can pick and choose the right set of partners for the right network at the right time, running the right workload. So that's one. And we believe we do have the most extensive set of partners today, not just the telco partners, but as the telcos start to address B2B applications, we have over 100,000 partners that run on AWS today natively that can address the manufacturing industry, for example, or the healthcare industry, or the transportation industry, and so on. So it's that ability to have choice on AWS. It's the investments that we're making in terms of the price to performance ratio. I talked about the Graviton chip as one example, but there's many more coming. The third one is actually just the geographical reach. Right? Today, we believe we're the most prevalent public cloud option out there. And so what that means is wherever you want to expand your network, it's probably a shorter path with us than with anyone else.
Excellent. Well, Samir, I really appreciate you taking the time to lend us your perspective and for giving us your time here in London. So it's great to catch up, man.
Yeah, it's great to be in London, Sean. Thank you so much.